Fellas, what we're going to talk about in today's video, we just call this free game. I'm going to give you guys free game today. So if you want to know what I'm going to be talking about, I got some good info for you guys today. About to get into it. And never forget, I'm the best. I'm the best. What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Darren. I'm the Bowtie Fragrance Guy. This channel is about looking good and smelling what? Amazing. That's right. So if you are a guy and you love looking your best every day and you love smelling great as well, then this is going to be the channel for you. Why don't you go ahead and click on that subscribe button. And while you're at it, go ahead and click the bell icon as well. That way you get notified every time I release a new video. So guys, this is it. This is the video for you. This is the video that you have been waiting for. This is the video that I'm going to provide you with some content that's backed up by some actual numbers. That's right. I'm going to be talking about fragrances today, and this is going to tell you guys exactly what women want you to smell like. That's right. I'm going to tell you exactly what women want you to smell like. So I have 10 fragrances today that are going to give you guys the answer to that question. What exactly it is that women look for. We know that they want a guy to smell good, but exactly what do they want you to smell like? Well, if you want to know 10 fragrances that answer that question, you guys already know the routine. Keep it locked right here. All right, guys, I'm back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked in. Let's go ahead and jump right into the list of fragrances. Now, just a little bit of, let me back up for a minute, just a little bit before we go into the fragrances. This is what I'm talking about. So a few years ago, Vogue magazine did a survey of about 1,000 women. And they asked these women, what is it that you look for? Or what is it that attracts you to a guy? And there were two things that over 90% of these women all agreed upon that they look for or are things that attract them to a man. One of them was a sense of humor. And the second thing was the way that a guy smells. So 90% of these 1,000 women said they wanted a guy that had a sense of humor and a guy that smells good. So guys, if you're not funny, you might want to go look at your favorite comedian, maybe pick up some jokes. And if you're not wearing a fragrance, then you might want to start thinking about rocking a fragrance. What I loved about this article is that it took it a step further. Not only did it answer the question that women like a guy that smelled good, but it actually went into talking about what kind of scent that women found attractive on a man. And there were three things that categorized these fragrances. And number one was a fragrance that was masculine. Number two, a fragrance that was powerful. And number three, a fragrance that was clean. So a fragrance that's masculine, powerful, and clean. And there are some fragrances in my collection that fit that description. So the fragrances I want to talk about today are all masculine, powerful, and clean fragrances that women are attracted to. So guys, here it is right here, free game. So women look for a fragrance that's masculine, powerful, and sexy. So of course I don't recommend you walking up to a woman and saying, hey, I'm masculine, I'm powerful, and I'm sexy. What's your name? No. We're not going to do that. That's called not having swag at all. But what this suggests is let the fragrance do the talking for you. That's what this is all about. So these fragrances are going to suggest to a woman that, hey, I'm powerful, I'm masculine, I'm clean, and I'm sexy. So let's jump right into it. So the first fragrance up on the list today, guys, I talked about this fragrance actually in a video last week. This one is from the house of Dolce & Gabbana, and this is the One Gentleman. The One Gentleman. Now, guys, what you're going to find about these sort of fragrances, or these kind of fragrances that fall into that masculine and powerful and clean category, often you're going to find certain types of notes in these fragrances. Notes like lavender, oak moss, spicy fragrances. Again, fragrances, guys, that really fall into that masculine category. And this one fits that description. I told you guys before, when they did the ad campaign for Dolce & Gabbana, The One Gentleman, back in 2010, they used Matthew McConaughey, who's an actor, and it was all about being a gentleman. This fragrance falls into that very, very masculine and powerful category because it really just projects and says, hey, I'm a gentleman. And that's one of the criteria for this kind of list. So this one right here, guys, does feature the note of lavender. It definitely gives a fougere twist to the original Dolce & Gabbana The One DNA. And that's really what this fragrance was trying to accomplish. So it accomplished it. This is one of those fragrances that are going to fit that bill, guys. This is a masculine scent, but at the same time, it's very, very clean and sexy. From the house of Dolce & Gabbana, this is The One Gentleman. Next fragrance up on the list, guys, I've talked about this one as well more recently here from the house of Nichane. This is Hachibot. Hachibot. Now, you talk about a fragrance that embodies those three descriptive words. This is it right here in a bottle. This fragrance is very, very powerful, and it really, really projects that whole mentality of being a gentleman, man. And just, it has a clean vibe to it as well. Very, very green and earthy. Guys, that's what women are looking for. I said it before, it's a big departure from a vintage. You get a small, there's a small part of this that was going to maybe remind you of it, but this fragrance is a fragrance that can really stand on its own. And as I said again, it's a very powerful fragrance in performance as well. So this is definitely one that fits that description as well from the house of Nichane. This is Hachibot. The next fragrance up on the list, guys, comes from the house of Giorgio Armani, and this is Acqua di Gio Profumo. Acqua di Gio Profumo. I don't care what anybody says about this fragrance. Again, the original Acqua di Gio is the best-selling men's fragrance of all time, and that's for a reason. People love that scent, and people love Profumo as well. What they did with this one, of course, is they added that incense and patchouli that took it right into took it from being more of a citrus type fragrance to a more of a masculine fragrance by adding those darker notes. And again, guys, the scent DNA is very, very mass appealing, and the incense and patchouli just made this more sexy, more masculine and powerful. From the house of Giorgio Armani, this is Acqua di Gio Profumo. The next fragrance up on the list, guys, comes from the house of Roja Dove, and this one is Scandal. Roja Dove Scandal. Guys, you talk about a fragrance that embodies everything that this list is about. This is it right here. Most of the fragrances from the house of Roja Dove are very, very classic smelling fragrances, very traditional smelling fragrances, and this one is very, very sexy as well. This screams, I'm masculine, I'm sexy, I'm powerful, and I'm clean, and I have my ish together. From the house of Roja Dove, this is Scandal. Fragrance up on the list, guys, come from the house of Chanel, and this one is Platinum Egoist. Platinum Egoist. Now, I know there are a lot of fragrances from the house of Chanel that get a lot more love than Platinum Egoist, but again, with what we're talking about today, fragrances that are masculine, powerful, and clean, this is one of the best to ever do it. I'm telling you guys what I know. You talk about a fragrance that's very, very, very powerful and masculine. It has a kind of traditional vibe to it, but it's very, very clean. It smells good. This one says, I am the man. From the house of Chanel, this is Platinum Egoist. Next fragrance up on the list, guys, comes from the house of Frederic Malle, and this one is French Lover. French Lover. Guys, I am falling in love with this scent. As I said before when I spoke about this one, I love Creed Spice and Wood, and this is an even more woodier, greener take. And like I said before, when you talk about fragrances that really fall more into that masculine category, you talk about spicier fragrances and fragrances that have more greener undertones to it. And this one is spicy, woody, and green. And guys, again, it's a little bit more, even more greener and masculine than Spice and Wood. And I'm comparing it to that fragrance because I think more people have probably put their nose on Spice and Wood than they have this one. But that's really what this one reminds me a lot of. It's Spice and Wood, but it's a little bit more powerful, a little bit more masculine. And hey, that's what this list is about from the house of Frederic Malle. This one is called French Lover. All right, guys, next up on the list, this is one of my wife's favorite scents. This is Tierra de Hermes. Tierra de Hermes. This is a very orange, citrusy fragrance, but again, one of the most masculine, powerful notes in men's perfumery is the note of vetiver. Vetiver can be very, very earthy, and you get that earthiness from the vetiver in this, but it's contrasted by that really bright orange citrusy opening. Guys, again, when we talk about fragrances that fit that description of being powerful, of being masculine, and being clean, you could not make a list like this without including this fragrance on the list. From the house of Hermes, this is Tierra de Hermes. Next up, guys, we're going to the house of Creed. This one right here is called Green Irish Tweed. Green Irish Tweed. Now, again, this fragrance was released in the year of 1985, and this is one of the best clean, fresh, green fragrances that you're going to find on the market still today. And again, we're talking about it's been going strong since 1985, and that says something about how great this scent is. But if you talk about a fragrance that projects class, that projects sophistication, that projects power and masculine, guys, this one had to be on the list. Absolutely love this stuff. Again, it's one of the most clean, fresh green fragrances that you're going to find, and it projects everything that a woman is looking for in a bottle. From the house of Creed, this is Green Irish Tweed. All right, guys, now I'll save two of the best fragrances on this list for last. We have one designer fragrance and one niche fragrance. I'm going to start with the designer scent, and this one comes from the house of Tom Ford. This one is Grey Vetiver. Grey Vetiver from the house of Tom Ford. I've talked about this scent before, but again, guys, this fragrance is masculine and sophisticated. It features, of course, the note of vetiver in this. And again, vetiver is just one of those notes that is used in a lot of more traditional smelling, more masculine fragrances. And this is one of the best fragrances to use the note of vetiver. I've always said this before. This definitely could have been in his private blend line, and folks would have still paid the price point, whatever he would have charged for it, because it's that good. And again, in a bottle, this embodies exactly all those things that I talked about that women are looking for when they meet a guy and he smells good. This one is from the house of Tom Ford, guys. If you've never put your nose on it, I highly recommend that you do. This one is Grey Vetiver. Last up on the list, guys, we're going back to the house of Creed. You know it had to be on the list. This one is Creed Aventus. Creed Aventus. Now, there's a lot of hoopla about this fragrance, and I'm not going to talk about much of the talk that is surrounds the fragrance that is Creed Aventus. I'm just going to say this. You guys know I would be lying if this fragrance did not make this kind of list, because again, this totally embodies, from the presentation on down to what's inside the bottle, this totally embodies all of the aforementioned characteristics and words and adjectives that have been used to describe fragrances in this list. Again, one of the best fragrances still on the market today and to ever do it. From the house of Creed, this is the King Aventus. All right, fellas, that's it. That's my time, man. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video today, as I gave you 10 fragrances that women want you to smell like. I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this video, because you could have been anywhere else in the world, but you're right here with me, and I sincerely appreciate that. Now, don't forget to take the time to like, comment, and subscribe, and share these videos out to other folks that you think, could use this information or find me entertaining, because I'm your main man, Darian, the Bowtie Fragrance Guy. I love to look good, and of course, I love to smell amazing. So until next time, guys, keep looking good, keep smelling even better. I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.